Welcome to the concluding part of the sequence. So we'll consider this Cauchy sequence. So we define Cauchy sequence as follows. A sequence this is said to be Cauchy if for every epsilon is greater than 0, there exists n in this greater than 0 such that am minus an is less than epsilon. That is, if you pick any other terms of the sequence, we subtract will still be less than epsilon for every this m and n is greater than this capital N. So that is Cauchy sequence. It's an extension of convergence of sequence. Now let's take example. Show that this set is Cauchy. This sequence. Let's show that is Cauchy. To show it, we say that if for every epsilon is greater than 0, there exists n greater than 0 such that this is this for every, just like this definition here. Now our am will be 1 over m minus an will be 1 over n, which I can write as 1 over m plus minus 1 over n. By triangular inequality, I can write it as 1 over m plus minus 1 over n. So this will just be equal to 1 over m plus 1 over n. So I can remove the absolute value there. So that simply means that 1 over m is less than or equal to, let me remove the absolute value, 1 over m plus 1 over n. Now you call this equation 1. So if you let n to be greater than this capital letter N, this simply means that 1 over n will be less than 1 over capital letter N. This is just inequality. So in this case, so let's choose n to be 2 over epsilon there. So from that place, we are going to have, this will be that 1 over m minus 1 over n. This will be strictly less than, so 1 over n and 1 over n will still be the same thing. So 1 over n is this and our n is this. So it will be, that is why we are putting strictly less, because 1 over n will be strictly less than 1 over n. 1 over n will be strictly less than 1 over this. That is why we are putting strictly less than. And this will be epsilon over 2, because we are doing this so that we can have epsilon there. So this one too is epsilon over 2. So we have shown that 1 over m minus 1 over n is, if you add it together, it will be epsilon for all mn is greater than you can see, for all mn is greater than n, we still get our epsilon. So that shows that it's that sequence is Cauchy. So, and that completes the proof. So let's take this theorem. So this is an important theorem in sequence. Every convergent sequence is Cauchy. That is, every convergent sequence in a real number is a Cauchy sequence. I can say that it's I can put it as it's a Cauchy sequence, or we simply write is Cauchy. So let's prove it. So the proof. Oh, this one converges. We are showing that this converges. So let Sn converge to L. So then for every epsilon is greater than 0, there exists n greater than 0. You know, the reason why we are saying let this be converging to this is because the theorem says every convergent sequence. So it is this convergent sequence that we want to show that is a Cauchy sequence. So let this Sn, we now say that let it converge to a certain number n. So by definition, we say that for every epsilon is greater than 0, there exists that greater than 0, such that the way we normally define it, let me use A, such that an minus L is less than epsilon for every n is greater than this. Now, when we have this, if you take another, since we know that a sequence must have a unique limit, so we can have this, we can have it like this. We can write it like this, epsilon over 2, and we can write it like this too, epsilon over 2 for every mn. Let's say here for every m is greater than n1, here we say that for every n is greater than n2. So we pick n1 and n2 in natural number. So it is this, we are still writing this thing, but we are writing it in different forms now. So instead of m, we considered an, and we put, instead of epsilon, we put epsilon over 2, which is still the same thing. Now we know that an, this am minus an, absolute value, can be expressed like this: am minus l plus l minus an, which by triangular inequality will be am minus l plus l minus an, and this will be strictly be less than epsilon over 2 from what we have here. Remember, l minus an is the same thing as am minus l because it's absolute value. This is less than, so it's strictly less than epsilon over 2. So this thing simply means that am minus an is less than epsilon for all m comma n is greater than capital letter N. So here now we pick n to be maximum of that n1 and n2 that that we choose here. So what we have seen here is that we have expressed this an in terms of Cauchy sequence. So here we have shown that every convergent sequence is Cauchy. That completes our proof. We have another theorem here. Every Cauchy sequence is bounded. So the proof is easy as well. So since this sequence is Cauchy, then for every epsilon is greater than 0, there exists greater than 0 such that am minus an is less than epsilon for all n is greater than this. Now, as usual, we can write it like this: epsilon is less than am minus an is less than epsilon. Sorry, this is no more there, which can be minus epsilon plus, I can write am or an, I'm still, so am is less than an is less than epsilon plus an. Now here now we can conclude that the sequence an there is bounded, but in order for it here m comma n to be defined in this, so in this case we need to add this to the upper band as usual, and we add this to the lower band. That is, upper band is equal to maximum of this. So we add this to the upper band, and the lower band will be the minimum of, we first put this and the sequence. So in that case, we can write the sequence as L an is less than upper band. So since this sequence has upper band and lower band, then it is bounded, because this is the upper band, this is the lower band. Any set that has upper band and lower band, we say that that set is bounded, that is bounded above and bounded below. So, but this sequence, we have said that it's a Cauchy sequence. So we have now shown that every Cauchy sequence is bounded. So let's move to another interesting theorem. Before we go consider the theorem, let's consider this important definition. We have subsequence. So we divide subsequence as follows. Let Sn be a sequence of real number, and let this n1 be an n2 to this be an increasing sequence of natural number. So then xnk is called a subsequence of this. So if they say that subsequence, if you can get a sequence from another sequence, the sequence that we can get from another sequence is what we call a subsequence. So for instance, this sequence has subsequences this 1/3, 1/3, 1/5, and so on. And this, you can see that all these sequences can be obtained from this sequence here. So we can say that all these sequences are subsequences of this sequence. So that is what the definition is talking about. Now let's consider the following theorem. So we state the following theorem without proof. This theorem is called Buzano-Weierstrass theorem. Buzano-Weierstrass theorem. So it says that every bounded sequence in real number R has a convergent subsequence. So that is, if a sequence is bounded, then it must have a convergent subsequence. So we are going to prove that in our next video. So because of the size of this video, we are going to prove this later. So but now we state without the proof. So it will lead us to the following theorem. Every Cauchy sequence is convergent. Now, since this an is Cauchy, then for every epsilon is greater than 0, there exists n is greater than such that am minus am or am minus an is less than epsilon. So this is by definition. Now let's keep this, or which we can write, we can write it as this: an minus am is less than epsilon over 2. Let's say for all m comma n is greater than n1. So let's keep it as equation 1. So we are using this because we say that the sequence is Cauchy. Also, since the same an is Cauchy, then we have shown that every Cauchy sequence is bounded. So definitely an must be bounded. So, and by this Buzano-Weierstrass theorem, it says that every bounded sequence of real number has convergent subsequence. So definitely it must be bounded. And then by Buzano-Weierstrass theorem, we know that it must have a convergent subsequence. So this is how we write the subsequence, ank. So it must converge to something there, to a number L as well. So that is by Buzano-Weierstrass theorem, because the sequence is Cauchy, and we know that every Cauchy sequence is bounded. But Buzano-Weierstrass theorem says that any bounded sequence must have a convergent subsequence. So, and remember, this is how we write convergence of a sequence. Now, our aim is to show that this an is convergent. Now, this an minus L can be written as, and sorry, this one, we can write this as we can write this thing as ank minus, let's say L is less than epsilon over 2 as well. So that is by definition if this thing converges. Now, by triangular inequality, or we can quickly write it like this: am minus, let's say ank plus ank minus L. By triangular inequality, we can write it as this: am minus ank plus ank minus L. So if you take this in as m, this will strictly be less than epsilon over 2, just like what we have here. And here we have it here, it is plus epsilon over 2. So this thing simply means an minus L is less than epsilon. So for all n is greater than this. So our n is maximum of n1 and n2. So this simply shows that an converges. So and an is a Cauchy sequence. So we have shown that every Cauchy sequence is convergent. So another important theorem is this Cauchy convergence criterion. In fact, we have proved this. It says that a sequence is convergent if and only if it is a Cauchy sequence. So that simply means that we will show that we first assume that if a sequence is convergent, then it is Cauchy. So and we have shown that every convergent sequence is Cauchy. We have just proven that every Cauchy sequence is convergent as well. So we have proved this theorem. So that is that about it. Let's consider another important theorem. Now, a theorem. A Cauchy sequence converges to L if and only if its subsequence converges to L. Now, the proof is similar to what we have shown before. Now, but this is if and only if. What this thing is saying is that if, let's say this thing is a Cauchy, if this converges to L, so we must show that A and K also converge to L in real number. So that is what the theorem is saying. I will prove the other way around. Now, suppose this AN converges to L. Suppose it converges to L, and every set is a subset of itself. Then this sequence itself, this sequence is a subsequence of itself. Hence, this sequence also converge to L. So we have shown it. What we want to show is that the subsequence of this also converge to L. But fortunately for us, we know that every set is a subset of itself. Definitely, this sequence that converges to L is a subsequence of each of itself. So definitely the subsequence here converges to L. So that proves this one. So we now assume that if this converges to L, then this one too converges to L. So that's what we have written out. So we assume that AN, this subsequent, converges to L. Now, since ANK converges to L, then for every epsilon is greater than 0, so there exists, let's say, N1 greater than 0, such that ANK minus L is less than epsilon, let's say epsilon over 2, for all n is greater than n1. Also, since this an is Cauchy by this place, since an is Cauchy, then for every epsilon is greater than 0 as well, there exists n greater than 0 such that am minus an is less than let's say epsilon over 2 for all n is greater than n2. Now, our aim is to show that an converges. So now we can write an like this to be equal to an. We want to express it as this minus m plus an minus L, which by triangular inequality will become an minus am plus am minus L. But if you look at this is less than epsilon. This am, we can write it as ank because am is also a subsequence of an. So we can then conclude that this is strictly less than, by what we have here, this is epsilon over 2. By what we have here, this is also epsilon over 2. So this shows that an minus L is less than epsilon for all n is greater than n. So our n is maximum of n1 and n2. So here this should be n comma m because we have two things there. So this simply implies that an converges to L, and that completes our proof.